Hey, hello again. Yeah, it's me. Making a video. Oh, what a surprise, but I forgot my gloves. Yeah, so I'm not making a video. Yeah, I'll need them on the way home because it gets cold. Where was I? Okay, yeah, determinism again, sort of. Uh, yeah, Professor Anton made a response video to Trick, because Trick just pointed out, basic truth. But they're still using words like agency, which is silly. Trick shouldn't bother trying to defend that concept. It's not a word. It's a bullshit word. There's the agency would be who, would be what, would be what you're going to call just whoever. It just ends up being a replacement for will or something. So what's the agent? The guy who wins? The program that wins the little contrived battle. Oh, that ceramic thing broke. It's strange. Anyway, put these in my pocket. Yeah. So Trick was just sort of pointing out that it's determinism all the way down. It's a cause and effect physical universe made up of some sort of mechanics to the energy, and the energy becomes the matter, and energy frozen, so to speak, captured. This is what it does when it's captured, and we know that just one little piece of this bark, there's enough photons in there to blow this planet to bits. If they were released all at once, they would create enough pressure, energy, to just particulate all the matter in their path. And that's the world we live in. And so, there's a ton of this stuff happening, but it's doing very routine things. Lichen grow a certain way on trees. Funguses grow a certain way. Everything, microbes do a certain thing. Everything has a boundary, and it doesn't leap the boundaries. It's not allowed to break the rules. You can't just blink your eyes and transport yourself to another planet. None of that crap can happen or will happen, because it's not part of this physical world. And we know this because we have evidence of this world's history. And this is what it does, clearly. And so what are we? That's the real thing. Professor Anton is nitpicking between these two words of epistemology and ontology, as if thinking about thinking regarding versus thinking about reality, or something like that. How you think about. There's reality, and then there's how you think about reality. And so apparently we have to have different words to talk about these different things. And I just don't see the point in it. We can, there's a portion of what we know, what we think we know anyway, what we declare to be the truth. And those statements, some of them are highly accurate, and some not so much. And that's the game we're playing. And let us call knowledge, what's the boundary between a belief and the truth. So what you say the truth is, and what the truth is. So when you get it right, it's knowledge. When you get it wrong, it's bullshit. And in describing where we are, what we're doing, and describing the mechanism of the universe, you have to go to the physics. You have to go to biological function. And this is what was really irritating about Professor Anton's video, for me anyway. You just say, okay, let these gobbledygookers do their gobbledygook. Who cares? But he was using words like, evolution and biology, and and that's just offensive. The evolution of psychology also. because I don't think he has any respect for those disciplines at all. And it's like I do in the morning. Made some comment about there's no determinism, and it's just, she's citing a bunch of pretend physics, a bunch of theoretical mumbo jumbo. That's all it is. Pretending that there's super special physics, super special forces, and all this other crap, and it's just there isn't. All right, the universe doesn't get more complex, as you go deeper. It gets less complex. It does really, really, really reliable and dependable things. And that's what basically quantum mechanics is pointing out, is that here's the probability, here's the range of possibility, and here's how it turns out when you roll it. Here's the shape of the roll. And so, eventually this is going to get modeled more accurately, and then we'll have a shape for these interactions. We'll have Feynman diagrams, and of more explicit functionality, and the game will be over. All right, you'll understand that it's a mechanical process, that things, guns are loaded and then bullets come out. Bullets don't come out and then you load the gun. It doesn't work that way anywhere in the universe. That's nonsense. And time is a property of physical necessity. If the speed of light didn't exist, there wasn't a limitation on it, let's say. It was just things photons just went from here to all the way over there, and that distance didn't require clock ticks, didn't require them, then it'd be a different universe, because everything would happen now, and that would be it. But that's not the reality. It does take clicks of universal Planck reality. You have to lay the planks, and the laying of the planks is what creates time. What else do we have to go through here? But this is just so. It's really just a commentary on, this word atheism again. There's just no point in having it, because these atheists are not atheists. Atheism means not a belief in a traditional mumbo jumbo, but it's the same difference. These people are desperate to find purpose and function in the universe for their their spirit and their thoughts and their, I mean something kind of bullshit, and it ain't there. They keep thinking they're going somewhere a microbe ain't going, and it ain't happening. And it's just very discouraging for atheists to sit there and pretend they don't know what the earth is anymore. They can't talk about what a spoon is or a peep without having a crisis. Because what? It could be God. What's the alternative? It's not a spoon, it's God? No, it's a spoon. It's just so stupid to say that because somebody is ignorant of something's function, the thing doesn't have a function anymore. That's what these people do. They think they are they think they are such the power of the universe that something isn't what it is unless they say so. Which brings us back to this moral nihilism bullshit, where they think something doesn't happen until they show up and say, there, it happened. So unless if there's a train wreck in New York and no one's there to watch the people bleed and scream, it didn't happen because no human showed up to validate it as an actual tragedy. That's how nonsensical this bullshit is. Yeah, what are you going to do? It's like that old saying, right? Who needs religious kooks when you have atheists, right? Because they're just as kooky. They're just making up crap to suit their egos. So, yeah, okay, they haven't made the story isn't as literate, in terms of God creating in his own image, but their purpose in perverting the truth is exactly the same. Their mission statement is exactly the same. Make it mean something, force it to be something it's not. Deny what all appearances, all evidence points to. Biological organisms being owned by a construct of reproductivity. Yeah, deny that truth. That's the thing. They could, even before the theory of evolution, people could understand people replication. And they could certainly understand the mechanism of its perpetuation, and just this idea of dropping seed, and what's the point in that? They could question the authenticity of the mandate of biology, and they certainly could see it, that everything they were doing wasn't any more grandiose, than the horses humping in the field. And yeah, that caused them probably some dissidence as they dealt with an explanation for this mechanism, of pointless pursuit of getting somewhere, and yet for what purpose? To have it all turned into dust in the wind, or muck on the ground, or whatever. So anyway, back to the subject of there's even the really overtly religious kooks that apparently have to hang out in the atheist community. So they find comfort there, I suppose, because atheists are such religious kooks. But talking of their souls, and as if the soul controls us, that we have a soul, and somehow the soul was not manufactured through cause and effect, or wasn't circumstantially created, that somehow it's our fault. Yeah, right. Like somehow engineer it. We have a whole table of ingredients, and somehow we choose, asshole or something. And it's just so silly to say there's any informed choice. There's only this progression of your ignorance, and whether or not you can escape its gravity. Whether you have the opportunity to think beyond stupid, to go beyond stupid, to step beyond stupid, into the light of enlightenment, and to argue that somehow people do that by some character of soul. It's just so silly. So anyway, back to this agency thing. Where'd the agent come from? What's the agent made out of? The quanta figure out what's right and wrong, and then whisper in our ear, "I don't think so, Davy. You shouldn't be a bad boy." I mean, come on. This is just ludicrous. It's all just programs. We are reflexive organisms. We reflexively react. It's just that we have many stages of reflex. We have initial responses, then we have secondary responses, and then thirdary responses and fourthary responses as our brain contemplates and considers and smashes the crap together. It shows us relevant data. Maybe our papa will whisper in our ear, or our mama, as our brain has reconstructed them. Even, Goliath, the dog, might even say, "I don't think so, Davy." And you'll say, "Yeah, Goliath is probably right. That's a stupid thing to do." So it's a good thing I didn't pull the trigger yet. I resisted the first impulse, or whatever the thing would be. But it's all going to be a matter of your word associations, your tension within your, chemical balance, whether your adrenals are pumping or not. Lots of little factors, but they're all factors. They're all material. They're all real. And you can't pretend the spoon ain't a spoon just because it's made out of metal or wood or plastic. It just doesn't matter. It fits the category. It has the properties. That's all. The end. So, I don't know. Just so. This is not a good step. I mean, come on. That's not good. Round log. Well, that ain't going to step on, right? So now my brain's got to consider this, right? It's saying, where do we put our foot? It seems the rational choice is somewhere in this area. So that did seem to work out. But it's not a great choice. Anyway. But my brain logically deduced, don't step on the wheel. Yeah, the wheel is probably not a good thing to step on. Yeah. So all quite logical. No reversibility. No, go back and no. You don't get to go back. Do-overs. No do-overs. Sorry. Not in reality. Crazy people. So, anyway. I think that's about said it. Man, we got a long way to go when atheists aren't atheists yet. Gee, we got to convince the atheists to be atheists. Ugh. Shit. And such. So, just do what I have to do, and I don't know, it is feeling so futile. Yeah. It's time to fall in a hole deep enough to cover me. Maybe I could dig one of those. You hate this planet. Anyway, till the next time and such.